You are here on time. Oh, look at that. 8:11. All right, I'm going to go outside. This is my last day at home. Got to go back to work tomorrow. I do have that interview today, so it's not as cold as yesterday. And sadly, all the snow melted. So, sadly, I don't know what's happened in the Midwest. It used to be, it'll get cold this month and next month. It'll get cold. It's breezy. I don't know if I know this grounds supposed to ground you, and your body responds to the earth. He's Zulu. Um, so yeah, I don't know if the cold just wakes you up, but I do go barefoot in the summer a lot. So why not go barefoot in the winter? Breath of fresh air. It's actually nice out. I think I don't know what the degree is. It's probably 33. Oh, it says it's 25. I don't know. I don't know if it is. Look at my mint. I'm telling you, mint is hardy. I think this is probably gonna. I mean, it's half surviving. That mint is still green. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna go in. Hey Terry and Jeremy. All right, so I went outside. Move over a little bit.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay. Whoops.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, Mom.
No problem. All right. Let me get set here. I kind of have a plan. When I had a plan yesterday for today, and then I kind of had to I don't know, I didn't have time to like fully do it the way I wanted to, like study. That's okay. Yeah, you walk in the snow sometimes. No snow in New York. Is it just me? I don't know. People told me that it didn't snow as much as I remember, but I don't know. I remember a lot of snow, especially in January and February, more than. And I've lived in the Midwest most of my life. I lived in Colorado and Arizona for a few years. So, barefoot in the snow. That sounds even better. I would like that. So yeah. Okay. As I was saying, I was wanting to study things and then I didn't. And I've been going back and forth like, do I want to do work at home when I have tomorrow to do work? And I'm like, nope, don't want to do work at home because I'm not getting paid. And it's still technically my day off, so I'll do it tomorrow. That's one thing in education people talk about now, but they didn't used to talk about it, how much you work off hours and don't get paid. So it's really like volunteer work, charity work. Yeah, January, we will. And I don't know if they engineer it that way to, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about it. We're not in control of that. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Proverbs because I feel like my life is in a different cycle now. And I say that because you know how memories pop up on photos and social media, and that's the only reason I'm really on social media is for the memories. I just look back. But I seem to be going through the same cycle in my life in some ways that I did 12 to 15, maybe longer years ago. But it's going to be different this time because I know better. And I'm not going to let certain things pass me by anymore. Because sadly, and maybe a lot of you are like this, or a lot of you are like this, maybe you're not, or you're 10 times better than me, that when we're young and we do stupid stuff and we don't learn, and I never was a bad person, like I didn't try. I wasn't a risk taker or anything, but you don't realize how much you hold yourself back, you know? So, um, it's just not going to happen anymore. So, a memory popped up, and I had shared Proverbs 4:18, I think it was. Uh, but I thought I'd just read the whole chapter. Yeah, 4:18 popped up. I'll read that first, and then I'll read the whole chapter. It popped up in my memory, and I remember what I was going through at the time back then, but it's still applicable now, and even more so in some ways. So in 18 it says, "But the path of the righteous people is like the light of dawn that becomes brighter and brighter until it reaches midday." So when you see the dawn in the distance, you follow it, you know the light is coming. And then as the day moves on, you can see clearer all around you, right? And I was going to do a little Hebrew study and everything, and I didn't get to it. So, maybe some other day. But I had posted that years ago, but it still resonates with me, and it even resonates with that. Um, it resonates with the poem that I had written this week, because that was so it was kind of a confirmation, because I had written that for where I was going to focus my life on, and then that popped up as a memory. So that's why I said, "Oh, I must be going through this cycle again." Yeah, Zulu. I'm gonna learn Paleo Hebrew better, because I had studied Hebrew and Greek a little bit on my own years ago. Can you turn it down a little bit, please? Right there. Oh, you want to know what the painting is? What? Everyone asks about this painting. So, Zulu, my grandpa was a Chicago firefighter, and this was his retirement gift. And it was in my grandparents' upstairs hallway as a child, and every time I'd pass by it, I would look at it, and I loved it. And it's funny because it looks so much smaller now than when I was a child, you know. But they gave it to him as a gift. Uh, his second job was a grocery produce manager, and I think that grocery store that's on fire is like the grocer that was a competitor of his. But yeah, it has different. This is supposed to be the south side of Chicago, so there's different engines um, from different periods. I don't know if he's from Station 88. I can show you I had the picture of where he received this painting. Hold on. But anyways, my grandma always hated this picture. That's why she kept it upstairs for no one to see. But I always loved it. I don't know why. It is different. It's very different. It was painted for him specifically. So the colors are beautiful, and when the light catches it, it looks like the fire's glowing. But anyways, so here's the picture of him receiving the painting. So thanks, Lulu. Yeah, he maybe he was a badass. I don't know if he was. He didn't. I'll show you another picture you'll enjoy. He didn't go to war. He was in the Air Force. I think this is his retirement picture. So yeah, he was a son of immigrants. He was the first child born in the United States. So yeah, he was a firefighter and a produce manager. He did work his ass off. I know he worked a lot. He was pretty quiet though. Yeah, you guys go through a lot, and I'm always thankful because he was a quiet person. and he didn't ever talk about being a firefighter. My dad told me, I think I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. Um, my dad wanted to be a firefighter, and my grandpa, his dad, said, "No, you don't," because he worked on the south side of Chicago, which was the south side isn't all rough, but uh, rough areas, and he saw a lot of poverty and um, back in the 50s and 60s, a lot of the um, um, prejudice stuff was around. I'll say it that way. Hey, BLB. Um, it is awesome, Terry. I miss, you don't appreciate your family till they're gone sometimes. But yeah, he died when I was 12. So he died of lung cancer. He smoked like crazy. So I'll show you a picture that I love also. Any pictures? I'm the only one in my family who keeps pictures and actually frames them. But this was, I think, my grandparents' 40th or 50th anniversary. Oh, this was in the 80s. But I love that picture too. The way he's looking at her. I don't know. They had like such that typical life, of they lived in that home, until he died. They had purchased it in like 1949, right after the war when everybody, I'm getting all nostalgic now. When everybody started their families after the war and stuff, baby boomer um, era, my parents' era. So, yeah, you don't act like it. Yeah, no, I know Zulu, and it's yeah, he was pretty quiet, but he was steady though. He was always there with his cigarette and coffee, listening to NPR or classical music every morning when we would wake up as kids. So he turned it down a little bit. Yes, Mom. It's like our last days of break, so we're just kind of hanging out. But yeah. So thanks, Zulu. Um, yeah, he was a good man. Um, so, anyways, back to what I was saying. But thank you for that distraction. That's a good distraction. um, he was smart too. But yeah, thanks for all you do, Zulu, and firefighters and people that do hard jobs. Because it's not just a job for you, I know. So okay, so I was talking about another reason I like that. Hey Morgan, that painting is it shows the colors um, of what we can look for. A lot of sunrises and sunsets here look like that picture, those colors, and I like vibrancy and those colors. Um, and so, as I was saying, I wrote the poem kind of in this cycle of life. I don't want to babble; it's already been a little bit. Um, so I'm in this repetition, but I'm going to learn differently because I know better now. So in all of Proverbs 4, it's just talking about heeding, Heeding, to what you hear and know to be true, right? And I was thinking about last night how I can also feel a shift. And I think that's cyclical too. From 2000, so I started learning more truths in 2011, and then 2012, I felt a big shift spiritually. And then I had understood a lot in between 2012. I've said this before. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's okay. 2012 to 2019, I had been learning, but kind of put it on the side. And then 2019 was when I came to more truth because I had asked the Most High for it. So, yeah, Jeremy, it's early there, huh? I know it's like 6 o'clock. Um, so I feel another shift, and I don't know if I have to discern whether it's this New Year's time or not, January, because I know a lot of things happen in the realm around us during this time, whether it should or not. I feel a good shift and like a positive and negative shift, which actually brings things together. I just thought of that. So maybe that's a good thing. The negative and the positive, like a magnet, bring things together. So, which is strength, right? So I think um, it's going to be interesting this year. Oh, 7:30, yeah. Yeah. You're not all the way on the West Coast. That's right. You're on Colorado time. Same, Southwest, West. So yeah, I feel a shift, and I know recently someone had said, I don't know if it was Lynn. Yeah, it was Lynn. She said, that 12 is another shifting kind of time cycle. So yeah, 2012 to now is 12 years, and yeah, and then when I had posted this verse originally, I think it was 2008. 21, 22, 23, 4. So that's 14 years. So I like even numbers. And someone told me these numbers are chaos, but yes, you're right. They must all take place. So yeah, I feel that shift, but you just keep moving forward till that dawn of day. So I'll read chapter 4. Son, listen to your father's discipline and pay attention in order to gain understanding. After all, I've taught you well. Do not abandon my teachings. When I was a boy, learning from my father, when I was a tender and only child of my mother, they used to teach me and say to me, cling to my words wholeheartedly, obey my commands, so that you may live, acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. Do not forget. Do not turn away from the words I've spoken. Do not abandon wisdom, and it will watch over you. Love wisdom, and it will protect you. The beginning of wisdom is to acquire wisdom. So the beginning of wisdom is to ask for it, right? Cherish wisdom. It's a gem, and I've talked about that in another morning Muse. Things are precious. Understanding is precious. Acquire understanding with all that you have. Cherish wisdom. It will raise you up vibrationally too. It will bring you honor when you embrace it. So good and blessing. It will give you a graceful garland for your head. It will hand you a beautiful crown. And crowns have jewels, right? My son, listen, accept my words, and they will multiply the years of your life. I have taught you the way of wisdom. I have guided you along decent paths. When you walk, your stride will not be hampered. And that's what I was writing in my poem, was that. But this is how Yah does things for me again. I kind of figure things out, and then he shows me later, and it goes together. That's what I wrote, that you can't stop, and you can't be hindered, and you won't stumble. And I even said this yesterday to somebody, that we're not going to stumble anymore. And I was like, I know that's a verse somewhere. Well, here it is. When you walk, your stride will not be hampered. Even if you run, you will not stumble. Cling to discipline. Do not relax your grip on it. Keep it because it is your life. Do not stray onto the path of wicked people. Do not walk in the way of evil people. Avoid it. Do not walk near it. Turn away from it and keep on walking. And that was the other point I had made in my poem, or that's how I felt. So I talked about the cycles being like riptides that you get stuck in, that come around, and whatever that is around you, don't get stuck anywhere. in a place that isn't for good and moving forward for your soul. Turn away from it and keep on walking. Wicked people cannot sleep unless they do wrong, and they are robbed of their sleep unless they make someone stumble. They eat food they eat food obtained through wrongdoing and drink wine obtained through violence. But the path of the righteous people is like the light of dawn that becomes brighter and brighter until it reaches midday. The way of wicked people is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. We can see what can make us stumble. And that's kind of what I had said about we can see the enemy around us when we have our eyes open. And we can see what's coming. My son, pay attention to my words. Open your ears to what I say. Do not lose sight of these things. Keep them deep within your heart. Those are the precious gems, because they are life to those who find them, and they heal the whole body. Now, yeah, so I have to stop there for a second. Healing, and I've talked about this before too, but I'm really going to focus on this. Healing your whole body is healing your soul, and vice versa. So we need to first see where we need healing in our soul so our body can follow. And I've had that happen. Okay. Guard your heart more than anything else, because the source of your life flows from it. Remove dishonesty from your mouth. Put deceptive speech far away from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead and your sight be focused in front of you. Carefully walk a straight path and your sight be focused. Oops, I'm sorry. My eyes skipped. I'm not focused. Carefully walk a straight path and all your ways will be secure. Do not lean to the right or to the left. Walk away from evil. So, and I've done a lot of that in my life. Walk to the left and walk to the right. Not necessarily that it was evil, but sometimes. But I really don't want to be distracted anymore, I don't want this to be like a heavy type of morning muse. I don't like that. But I want to focus on the brightness of the dawn that's before us. So, yeah. My poem went with that scripture and vice versa. I used to write scripture solely, um, speaking about Yah only, but He's made us so that we are whole with Him. It's not that, how do I say this without sounding weird? Um, it's we're whole because we choose to have Him lead us in that way. But I think it's within us to do what we need to do with that. I think I said that correctly. So I wouldn't say that I pray now, okay, do this for me. He wants you to do it too. We have to take, like I said, being ready to heal and being ready to understand. Turn that off. Sorry, she's watching something she's not supposed to. Turn it off.
Oh my butt.
Okay. Man, she's getting silly. I'm still live. The chat stopped. Maybe people just didn't want to. Did I? Okay, that's okay. So yeah, I want this forward focus and trajectory for myself, but then you affect others around you, right? So, and that's the point. We're supposed to just be there for each other, and then others can walk on that path with you. You find, people. to walk that path with. So I think I'm gonna stop there. I had other stuff to say, but I can't really remember right now. So yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say. Proverbs 4. I like the number 4. Oh, when there's 4 people watching and there's 8 likes. So all right. Blessings. Have a good day.